Tēnā koutou katoa, talofa lava, and welcome everyone to our first Facebook Live of 2021. Today we're going to be talking about toilet readiness for our little Tamariki, and here to have a kororo with me about that today is our lovely PlunketLine nurse Roscelyne. My name is Chloe, also from PlunketLine, and I just want to say a really big thank you first of all to everyone who responded to our call out for questions. We have got a huge amount in. It is awesome. Yeah, lots of stuff for us to get into today. So we will try and get through as many as we can. If we don't get to your question, then we will send an answer to you later. If you've got any questions as we go through, please do just pop them in the comment box below. And like I say, we'll try and get to as many as we can. If you've got questions about anything else today, then do call PlunketLine on 0800 933 922. Our lovely nurses are there to take your call and chat about anything you need. So cool. So Roscelyne, you've got two little girls. You've got a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. So toilet readiness is something you have been going through for the past few years, eh?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I guess it varies when it comes to your little ones. All children are different when it comes to being ready to go to the toilet. So yeah, we'll try as much as we can to answer all of the questions that pops in today. And yeah, and we'll see how we go.
See how we go.
Yeah.
Lovely. So a first question, which we've had a lot of, as you can imagine, is when to start toilet training and what are the signs that your Tamariki are ready to begin? So what are the sort of things we should be looking out for?
I guess it's more of, I'd leave you with 4 B's. Basically, it's like behavior, brain, bladder, and bowel. So it all comes into the signals from the brain and the bladder, bowel kind of developmental stage. Physical readiness, that little ones are quite ready to start things going, is you might notice that they're starting to feel that they're wet, or they're quite uncomfortable with their nappy, so they might either pull it down or hold on to their crutch or to their nappy and just feel really kind of icky, like what's in there or what's behind me that's kind of uncomfortable. Other little ones would either say, I want to go potty, or they might use their languages. I want to go pee, I want to go poo. They might say those words already. So that kind of, physical readiness that they're actually into it. Or some little ones might even just do it on their own, cool. Take off their nappy and just run into the loo. That's how my older child did it. So I'm just like, okay, that's it. But still, some little ones, might show signs earlier, between the ages of 18 months to 24 months. But it still depends. It's not written in the stones that they will do that at that age. So yeah, physical readiness.
Awesome. Yeah. And should people always start with going to the potty first, or like you say with your little girl, did she go straight to the toilet? Which one is best for our little ones?
It depends. Some moms would say, to avoid confusion, they'll start with the proper toilet. But some moms would also do with the potty. It depends on what works for you as a family. And for some families that are on the go, like you're out and about and things like that, it's okay to have like a separate potty as well sometimes. And some little ones might take really quite well with your like a small kind of potty that you use rather than the big toilet, because sometimes they would feel quite sort of scared to jump in on the big toilet. So yeah, it does really depends on some little ones. Cool. Yeah.
Lovely. Awesome. And what is your kind of sort of top tips for approaching this like toilet readiness for little ones? What sort of approach should our mums and dads and caregivers take?
I think the top tips, Chloe, would be knowing when the timing is right. Timing is really everything. Once they've started showing signs that they're quite ready, then invest in a good time, like take time off work or have at least a good 3 days, maybe long weekend or school holidays, that nothing will really interrupt you with with getting them to be ready to go to the toilet. In saying that, be very concise, be very like when you're doing routine, be concise with your routine and be comfortable with doing your routines with your little ones, because it's not like you're forcing them to do this if they're ready. And when you kind of like see that they're physically ready and they're onto it, they're ready for it, then everything will just goes into place.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Lovely, lovely. Oh, good, excellent. So with so here I've got some more questions that we've had in from people. So someone's asked for some tips for wiping. So how can we sort of teach our little ones to wipe properly?
Teaching them to wipe their bottoms or their front properly, especially for little girls, very prone to urinary infection. We always teach them to wipe from front to back. Or if you've got like dollies or like dolls, like one of my friends suggested the Baby Alive doll. I'm not sure if they've heard it before, if they've seen it before. You know, like the dolly eats and poops and wheezes as well at the same time. So yeah, it's really quite good because they know what's happening. They know that, oh, that's what happens if I eat. The waste comes out of my body. So they'll be able to sort of relate that to the Baby Alive. So sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's worth a try. But yeah, and wiping. There's also a very good YouTube page that I've seen before about wiping their bottoms using a balloon. So there's like a balloon at the back of them, and the mom just wipes it off at the back. So it's a bit of a trick as well. You can also Google search that. Yeah, and it's good to keep them clean as well, and just after using the toilet, making sure that they also wash their hands clean with soap and water all the time. Yeah.
Good hygiene from early on, especially with
Absolutely.
COVID as well. We want to make sure we're always washing those hands and keeping nice and clean.
I'm pretty sure they're very good at that now.
Yeah. Our little kids are going to be very, very good at washing their hands. They'll be excellent. And I see we've actually had a question come in. So we've got someone asking, can we use stickers to help celebrate our little one's success? Is that something that you'd say is a good idea?
Absolutely good idea, especially little ones that are really, really quite keen on using stickers. You can pop your sticker chart beside the loo or beside their little potty, so that if ever they've done a wee or they've done a poo, even small successes, even if they just sit down on the loo without doing anything, pop in the sticker or put it like on a weekly kind of chart. You can also download this sticker charts online. They are very we'll pop in the links in this Facebook chat.
Yeah,
we've got that
Huggies
as well.
have some star charts and also certificates that you can download as well. So a whole kind of pack to sort of help with those rewards there.
And to keep them all motivated and such. Yeah,
motivation's always good. Little rewards, awesome.
Yeah.
And we've also got another question that's come in just now. So we've got a little one who is 3, had a few wees on the potty, but seems angry at the idea of sitting on it, and now has a negative experience. What sort of advice would you give for that?
For that kind of thing, especially with a 3-year-old, because they already know what's happening, and sometimes it's more of like they're kind of holding on to things, being in control of things. So that sometimes happen. They want to be in control of what's coming out of their body, and make it as a positive experience for them as well. Don't make a big deal out of it. If they become quite angry, it's just reassure them and calm them down first before talking to them, because sometimes when their brain's like quite in the thick of it, that they're not thinking very well because they're angry, or they felt a bit, I guess, embarrassed or ashamed maybe. Just try to calm them down first and then talk to them later on. Don't make a big deal out of it, or else it's gonna be a series of negative events for them and they don't want to do it again. So fake it till you make it. That's what we say.
Always the way. Always the way with so many things in life.
That's right.
Awesome. And what if a little one is maybe sort of flat out refusing to go to the potty or toilet? Sort of what kind of approaches can we take there?
If they're already flat out refusing, there's no way of forcing them to go if they really don't want to go. Pause, take a breather, walk away. Maybe you just need to stop doing this for a couple of days as well. And put them back on their nappy if they really need to be a nappy. But sometimes it would be wise to just put them on a pull-up kind of nappy rather than a proper nappy, because they won't be too confused. Because the proper nappy would be really quite thick and absorbent, whilst the the potty training kind of nappies, they're really quite good in saying that it's wet. So little ones will get signaled that okay, it's wet, it's uncomfortable, then they'll do it again. And it's okay if they really, really don't want to do it. You don't want to be forcing them to do it if they don't want to. Pause, take a breather, and just go back again when they're ready.
Lovely, awesome. And do you have any sort of tips or tricks to get them to use the toilet more frequently? Maybe if they're kind of having a couple of accidents here and there, but sort of going maybe 2 out of 3 times. Like, how do you make that a little bit more consistent?
Again, it's timing and routine. So make it a routine, make it into a habit. I would say a good 2 hourly if you're just starting toilet training or toilet readiness. 2 hourly would be a good way to start with it. Make it like, use a timer or use, these lovely apps that we can download from our phones, potty readiness apps that you can use to sort of, make a good sort of timer. And give them lots of praises if they do it once or twice. If they have accidents, it's okay. Don't make a big fuss out of it, because or else they'll get too, discouraged to do it again, and they won't do it anymore. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. And a question that we've had in as well before today is a parent who started toilet training, almost done with the training at home, but how sort of wanting advice of how to get used to taking the baby out without diapers, so out on sort of trips. What any suggestions for that?
I would say, like, if they're taking them out for trips, not very long trips though, like say for example the supermarket or the mall, always bring lots of extra clothes handy. And if you're not sure if your little one is really 100% doing ones already, or will let you know that they're going to be doing number ones or wheeze, then maybe it would be best to just bring a bit of a pull-up just in case. But if you're feeling that you're already on that sort of stage that your child is already ready to tell you that, I'm going number one, I need to go number one, then it's good to put them on their undies as well, so that they will know and they'll be responsible for it. But make it quite short, and make sure that you've at least, where the toilets are, where they are quite handy, or if you can, bring a potty with you. Or bring something that you are able to use to get them to wee on, so that you won't be rushing them around, and just in case they don't hold it in and they're wearing the undies, they get wet. That's okay.
Again, not making it stressful, just preparing as much as you can.
Absolutely. And do a rundown practice as well sometimes. Like, take them in a park for like maybe half an hour or so, and see whether they'll do something, within that half an hour span, so that at least that if it's just in the park, at least that it's not going to be too stressful for both of you guys. So
lovely. And we've also had a mum, obviously, of some little boys asking for tips for little boys especially. Is there anything particular you would advise for that?
For little boys, I mean, some moms would say that it's very tricky for little boys, because I myself have 2 girls, but for some mom of boys as well, it can be quite tricky for little boys. They say that sometimes little boys takes a bit longer as compared to little girls, but I guess all children are different. And for some little boys, I would suggest like doing it like a target practice kind of thing, like a target shooting. One of my friends would say that they'll put some kind of dandelion flowers, anything that you can flush, by the way. Like dandelion flowers, and they'll say, aim for the dandelion, and they'll start, shooting at it, kind of thing. Or drawing something on a toilet paper, drawing something like a target practice, putting it into the pot, and then just saying that, we're aiming for this. So all those things that you can, make it enjoyable, make it fun for your little wee ones to enjoy it as well, and don't make it too daunting for them.
No. That's awesome. Making a really nice game out of it. That's
right.
Awesome.
That's right.
Perfect. Cool. And so another question we've had through just now over the comments. Thank you so much, guys, for sending these in. Someone who's got a little 2-year-old doing well using the potty now, but refuses to have nappy off. Do I let her be until she's ready again? So what would you suggest for that?
Using the potty now and refuses to have a nappy off. Let her be until she's ready again, because there's no way of forcing her to not use it anymore if she, keeps on having accidents every now and again while she's on her undies. And it's going to be too stressful for you and too stressful for your little wee one as well. But make sure when you put her back on her nappy, so use the pull-up nappies, the toilet training nappies, so that it's easier for them to kind of know that, it's wet. Because if it's like just a normal nappy, it's going to be a lot more absorbent and harder for them to identify that it is wet.
Cool. Lovely. And another one we've had in, so it's one who's got a 3-year-old, every now and again wants to use the toilet, but mostly not wanting to. Is that normal?
Very normal. Very normal. And it's okay when sometimes they do want to go to the toilet, sometimes they don't want to. Just be consistent with that again. Consistency is the key for this. but obviously not want, don't force them if they don't want to, if they're not ready yet, and always, never never ask them like, do you want to go to the toilet, because the answer is always going to be no. Tell them that, come on, let's go to the toilet, and make it sort of like fun and enthusiastic way, so that they will be quite encouraged to do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And an interesting question we've got here that someone sent in. How to approach toilet readiness with non-verbal toddlers, or toddlers who've had their speech delayed. I think the lady who sent this in, or parent who sent this in, has got an almost 2-year-old. So any suggestions or advice there?
I think for little ones who are not yet that kind of verbal, there might be a bit more sort of delay as well. Like sometimes with little ones who may have, delay in speech and language, there can sometimes be a bit of delay with some things, and that's okay. All little ones, they do develop differently, and they'll get there. It's not going to be that they'll be on nappies forever.
Yeah.
It's just really a matter of, keep trying, being very consistent with how they're doing things, and yeah, they'll get there. Yeah.
Lovely. Awesome. Everyone gets there in the end.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So next question is a wee bit of a long one, but a very interesting one. So what is the right way to toilet train? So this person has 2 kids, 3 and 5 years old, going through their toilet learning. The 5-year-old has struggled to take up in the night, and very rarely has a dry struggled, I presume, to get up in the night, and very rarely has a dry pull-up when he wakes up, even if she takes him during the night. What are the steps they should try to take to make those dry nights happen that little bit more often? He tends to get really upset, and you can see that he's really trying, really trying to do that.
I think especially for little ones like that, the nearly 5s, or especially, going to school, it's okay if things like that happen. I mean, obviously, you're wanting them to get really dry at night times. Invest in good quality brolly sheets or mattress protector, because accidents will still happen, and it's okay if they're still wearing nappies at night time. That can still happen. Sometimes even when they're at primary school, year 1s can sometimes be the case. It's good though that there've been, if this 5-year-old's already been okay with the toilet during the day, but at night time still having a bit of wetness, don't stop them from drinking. It's okay to give them drinks as well, but maybe a couple of hours before bed, take them into the toilet, so that they know that they're going to be emptying their bladder, and really invest in good proper mattress protector, because if accidents happen, that happens. And sometimes we also say that make them a bit more, sort of give them a bit of sense of responsibility, and let them help you in taking the wet linen sheets to the laundry basket, so that they'll know and they'll take responsibility for what can happen sometimes, and that's okay to do that as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Lovely. And sort of in a similar vein, I suppose, what do you do if kids have been going really well, they've been going to the toilet, going to the potty, and they start kind of reverting a little bit and having those accidents again? Sort of how do we approach that to get sort of things back on track?
Accidents will happen. Accidents will happen. There'll be lots and lots of it, and just try to sort of manage it in a calm way, that no one's stressed out. I mean, easier said than done, because sometimes you feel like, oh my gosh, is that another accident already? What do I do? Again, fake it till you make it. Stay as calm as you can. And if they needed to be changed, like say for example, if it happens in the supermarket, or or somewhere not sort of private, then take them into the toilet, clean them up, and just be very calm with it, and that's okay. And get to the bottom of it, like maybe sort of see why they started regressing. It's either like, are they unwell? Are they starting to have a bit of a UTI, or are they constipated? So sometimes those are the things as well that can impact regressions. Or is there something going on in the family? Has there been another baby in the family, or has there been a sudden death, or anything that can sort of impact their emotional development can sometimes regress, or can sometimes change the way of doing things, especially if they've been really quite well with the toilet training, and then suddenly the regression happens. Can be quite normal, can be quite common, and that's fine. That's fine.
Lovely. Awesome stuff. Perfect. Okay, Okey-dokey. So here is another good question. So this little one is nailing doing a wee in the potty. Well done, little one. But will only go in the lounge. How do you transition, sort of taking that potty to the bathroom and eventually in the real toilet? They can do poos in the potty, but more often prefers to do it in their undies or behind the couch. How do we stop that? How do we take that forward?
Some little ones may do that, especially after a meal or after a drink. They sort of hide away. Again, it's more of really little ones being in control with themselves. So sometimes they tend to hide that, and sometimes it's fine. If they wanted to do it behind the couch, maybe put your potty, behind the couch. It's okay, and that sometimes work. But transitioning them from that place to the toilet also takes a bit of time as well. And if that happens, like say for example, you've put the toilet there behind the couch and she did it behind the couch or not even the couch, praise her for doing that and say, oh, well done. Next time we'll do it in the potty. The poo goes in the loo. So give them lots of praises and even read them some storybooks about that as well, because you can also get them, like really good storybooks so that they'll know and they'll sort of adjusting to, by you guys reading it to them, they'll know and they'll learn that, oh, okay, this is where it goes. Or say, for example, she did it somewhere else. Take her with you in the toilet and bring her with her nappy on. And once you remove the nappy, put the poo in the toilet bowl, and so that she'll know that next time when we go, poo goes in the loo, so that they'll know that this is where the poo will go inside the loo, rather than them just hiding it somewhere else, or them hiding it at the back of the couch. But some little ones do that, and that's okay. Maybe start them off with putting your kind of potty there, if that works for them. That's fine.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then just transitioning them later on to go to the toilet.
Cool.
Once they're ready.
Lovely. Cool. Awesome stuff. And obviously with learning about toileting and that transition, moving on from nappies, it's a lot for parents to do as well. It's a lot of hard mahi going from one stage to another. So
yeah.
I mean, how can parents and caregivers sort of support themselves during this time as well? Because you guys are going through it as well as your little ones. So
exactly.
how do we
And
support
it's
ourselves?
always one of those kind of daunting things that parents do, and it can be quite stressful for parents as well with the toilet training and toilet readiness, getting the, Tamariki to really try to go into the toilet, into the potty. And, for parents, it's okay if you're feeling a bit stressed about it. You will be at some point, but make sure to look after yourself as well. Like taking fives if you're feeling a bit more sort of stressed with this. If you're feeling more frustrated, they'll feel it as well. So take five, take a bit of a breather, go out, take a bit of a walk, especially if you're feeling too pressured that you have to do it because your cousin's brother or your baby, your cousins, your relatives, friends has already done it.
Yeah.
Sometimes things like that sort of pressure you, like especially in your group, like, coffee group. Oh, my 18 months old's already nailing the potty training, and you get pressured because your 2-year-old's not yet doing it. Don't be, every little one, they do develop differently, and it's okay. In the end, everyone's gonna, reach that goal anyways, and it's not like who did the potty training first, who did the toilet training first. That's not what we would want, as parents to. Yeah.
It's one of those things that in a couple of years won't matter. Everyone's going to reach that same goal.
That's right.
Yeah, and I guess if you're feeling stressed out or worried or stuck in a bit of a rut with it, then reach out for that support. Contact PlunketLine, contact your GP, your well child, Tamariki, or a provider.
That's right.
And get some really good impartial advice. As you were saying, mums in coffee groups and people on Facebook groups, they're always going to boast and show you the best things. So sweep that to one side and just talk and get some really good advice. And as I said, PlunketLine 0800 933 922. We're always here, 24/7, whenever you need. Excellent. Cool. Lovely. So another question that we've had is a little 2.5-year-old girl. She is potty trained at home. Well done you. Will happily take herself to the potty for wheeze and poos, but then when she's at daycare, she holds on until she gets home. They've tried lots of little tricks, including taking her potty from home, the one to one we uses at home to the daycare, and she'll happily sit on it, but won't use it. So any advice for that at all?
I guess especially at daycare, because sometimes, I mean, I would probably ask a lot of questions on this one, Chloe.
Yeah.
Like, have they been at daycare for a long time, or have they been just recently been at daycare? So it's more of really their familiarity with their space, with their own environment, especially with, toilet, with the toilet. It's their sacred place.
Yeah.
What's coming out of my body, I need to put it somewhere sort of, I'm familiar with where I'm putting it at. So some little ones might not want to do it where they're not familiar with, and that's okay. Again, it'll take time. It's just a matter of really having that consistency of taking them to the toilet. Maybe you're is she a girl, or maybe
She's a little girl.
Maybe your little girl might be able to have, if she's got a bit of a friend as well that she goes at the same daycare. Sometimes that kind of helps motivate and encourage them, like, oh, she's going to the toilet, and maybe she can help you as well, or take them together in the toilet if they're daycare, or if, the teachers at daycare might be able to sort of make up like a sort of a routine, a plan that they can go to the toilet together, because sometimes they do it like 2-hourly toileting. So yeah, sometimes that might help, a bit of encouragement, again, a bit of reward. Be calm, and then praise them if they do it, even just sitting down there. It's okay if they don't do anything just yet, and yeah, it'll take time, and she'll get there again.
Lovely, awesome. So as we said before, we've got some really good kind of resources that you can get from online to help out with toilet readiness. So you were saying about the YouTube video, which is really good. Huggies, they've got that star chart you can download, and certificates. They're really good. They've got some really good resources as well. They've got an ebook that you can download too. Lots of things that you can look at there. So have a really good browse on their website. We're going to put all of these links, upload them a little bit later on, so you can have a good browse. But other places you can look at is raisingchildren.net.au. They've got some really good advice. Continence NZ, they've got some good advice too. Our very own Plunket website, of course, has some really good resources, so do take a good look through there. Ministry of Health, they've got some lovely bits of advice on their website too. There's Skip. Yeah, they're a great website for so many things. They've got some really good toileting tips and tricks there.
You can also download their app.
The Skip app as well. You can certainly do that too. That's awesome. And actually, Huggies, they also have a section about toilet readiness in childcare as well. Huggies, we've got them here too. So they've got a section on childcare. So they've also got a little bit more kind of tips and tricks, and you can show that to your childcare provider too, and say, look, this is what I'm aiming towards. And also raising children. I think I already said that, but worth saying again. Really good advice on their website too. Cool. So a few more questions that we have had in. Let's take a look. I think we have done those questions here. So let's take a look. So we've got an 18-month-old. Just one moment. Sorry, I'm just reading it here. Thank you very much. We've got an 18-month-old who's started recognising he's going to the toilet. So they've introduced going to the potty. He sits on it, doesn't go. He woke up dry yesterday, and Mum and Dad asked him if he wanted to use the potty, and went bees for the first time. But is he ready? Is it okay to slowly introduce the potty to him in this way, and only put him on if he wants to, or is it too early?
I guess 18 months old is never too early, especially if within your family you or both parents have started toileting at a very early age. Never too early. If he's showing signs that he might be ready, especially if he's done it, celebrate the small successes again. He's already done his first week. Well done, you guys. So I guess it's you guys can start doing it now. I mean, invest in a good 3 days of doing this. Keep an eye on your little one like a hawk 2-hourly. So you'd be able to really establish a good routine with this little one again. And I guess there's more to go with these things as well. I mean, if he's really, really quite keen on doing it, then go for it. I think he sounds like he's quite ready.
Lovely. And do you think this time of year, sort of summertime, is that
Yeah.
a good time of year
Yeah,
to be?
especially if the weather's a bit warmer now, like spring, summer season kind of weather, so that there's going to be less sort of clothing to pull off, you know, put them in clothes that are easier to remove, or just go on, you know, naked, bare butt, let them run around. It's warm anyway, so and less laundry problems for
Exactly.
parents.
Less energy bill on running that washing machine.
Absolutely.
Hopefully the Kiwi summer stays kind to us, Lovely. And another question we've had is a little 3-year-old girl. She doesn't know when she needs to go to the toilet, so their caregiver's asking, do I wait? And any thoughts on pull-up disposable nappies versus cloth reusable training undies?
Oh yeah, that's a good one as well. Especially with 3-year-olds, if they're quite ready to go, and if she's saying that she doesn't want to go, I guess the answer is always going to be no. Like what we've said earlier, don't ask them because the answer is always going to be no. Just take them into the toilet and make it a fun sort of time when taking them to the toilet. Hey, come on, let's go to the toilet. I think it's time to go away. And sometimes you'll see them sort of like fidgety or sort of dancing and tiptoeing. Are you doing the, are you doing the potty dance? Is it time to go to the loo? So you kind of give them sort of languages and communicate to them really quite well. And the timing and the consistency of going to the toilet can help them recognize that, you know, their bladder is full and they really need to go to the toilet as well. Again, it's that kind of brain and bladder connection. And it does sometimes takes time, you know, for their brain to kind of have that connection to the bladder saying, oh, I need to go, and the urgency as well for them to really need to go to the wee or to do their wees. That can sometimes, you know, happen in a bit of a time as well. And
cool, that's lovely. It's all this about that time, consistency.
Absolutely.
Keeping a nice cool head. We've got another question coming in, which is just being written up at the moment. So I hope you guys are enjoying the chat so far. So as I say, any other questions that come in, do let us know. So the question that we've got now is for a little one who is a little bit older. So a 6-year-old who doesn't wake at night and sleeps 12 hours. They've tried waking them at 11 p.m. And the little one can be hard to wake. Should I continue waking her up or maybe sort of take the little one to the GP?
I think something's going on a bit more with this 6-year-old who doesn't wake up at night, especially sleeping, and this 6-year-old is probably weeing at night, or wetting the bed as well, potentially, because he's sleeping 12 hours. I would say let's, you know, investigate the cause of it. Why is the 6-year-old maybe weeing at night or bedwetting at night? Because it can still happen at this age. However, I would say maybe first things first is to get your little one seen by the GP, just in case something else is going on. And then checking the Continence NZ website as well for some tips, because they have really quite good tips for 6 years old and older as well.
Cool. Awesome.
Cool.
So Kangler, oh, lovely. We've got some more questions there. Fabulous. Lovely. So how would we transition a boy from peeing sitting to peeing standing? An idea is dad to demonstrate. Do you think that's a good way to go about it?
I think so. I mean, you know, some little boys, if, you know, they also do it like sitting, and that's fine. If that's how they're comfortable with, that's okay. You know, some dads would say, yep, okay, dad will demonstrate it. But let's also not forget that we also have like very complex family, you know, relationship that we have. Like, you know, we've also got like both moms raising kids. So sometimes, you know, they don't have that father figure to demonstrate that, and that's okay. You know, like what I said earlier, like making it fun times, like putting the aim inside the loo. So that might also work for this little one to do the standing up. And there are also some very good sort of like toilet that are for boys that you can sort of pop it onto your onto the wall of your toilet that they have like this aim or toys that they need to aim for. So you can search up online as well. You can also get those sort of toilets that are for boys that would make them stand up, so from sitting to standing up. But it does take time as well for little boys. If they've been used to sitting down doing their wheeze, that's okay until they are kind of like, you know, perfectly aiming, you know, already inside the loo, because you don't want them to be sort of peeing everywhere, all over the place. And some little boys as well can sometimes do it just outside at the backyard. If it's like, you know, you've got a nice backyard outside, you know, tell them to try standing up, and they can also do that, and that's okay. Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Again, nice and sunny.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Awesome. And sort of with nighttime as well. So maybe if say you've got maybe a sort of a younger one who's just using the potty intermittently, would you expect them to use the potty in the nighttime, or would you wait, you know, just let them have those maybe sort of pull-ups in the night? What would you suggest for that?
For little ones, it does sometimes takes a wee while for the nighttime you know, readiness to kick in, and sometimes it's around about 4 to 5 years old. Well, sometimes even earlier, because, you know, all children develop differently anyways. When they do really have that kind of connection in their bladder, in their brain, and they're really holding their wheeze quite well for a good maybe 8 hours or even 10 hours longer. So that's when their bladder are bigger and lots of wheeze can be stored there overnight. So say, for example, you're just sort of starting the potty training for like maybe 2 years old to 3 years old, they might still need to be in, you know, like in a nighttime nappies as well. And there are also some good sort of pull-ups, nighttime nappies that you can use for these little ones during night, because you can have the day and nighttime pull-ups. So they can use the nighttime pull-ups. It will still tell them that they're weeing or they're feeling quite wet, so they would wake up and they would feel, oh, what's that? It's a bit icky. And they will realize that they need to go to the toilet. But the nighttime really makes it a bit more sort of slower as compared to the daytime, because if they're sleeping really quite well, it's harder for their brain to be signaled that, hey, wake up. Like for us as adults, we have that connection already in the brain, but for some little ones, they're still figuring things out about it. So yeah, it takes time, and again, invest in good sort of mattress protectors, brolly sheets as well if you have to, because the nighttime takes a wee while for them to get really, you know, not really perfect. I don't want to say perfect, but to progress rather than perfection. Yeah,
exactly. Those waterproof mattress protectors are worth their weight in gold.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. Lovely. And we've got some more questions coming in hot. Thank you so much, guys. This is awesome. So is it okay, or is it good to use a potty for a 16-month-old? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it is okay for a 16 months old. I would say I wouldn't expect too much though, because, you know, usually 16 months old, maybe that brain and the bladder connection is still not yet ready yet. I mean, they might sort of say that they're kind of like physically ready to start it off with. They might be going into the loo, they might be pulling their pants down, they might be sitting in the toilet. It's okay if you've got the potty. I guess it's probably safer to put them in a potty rather than putting them in the bigger toilet. At least, you know, especially if they can still climb up, because you still have to climb a little bit when you're going to the big toilet. So maybe a potty would be a bit more advisable for the 16-month-old. Yeah, way to go though.
Awesome. Well done, little 16-month-old. Fabulous. And we've got another question with someone who's got a 2-year, 4-month-old. Again, kind of a reverse of our other question. So uses the toilet at daycare, but not so much at home, or weekends apart from bedtime. Should they be making more sort of consistency in this, or can I be asking her to tell them when she wanted to go? What's your advice with that?
2 years and 4 months old, I would expect this little one to be a bit more vocal and communicates really well. I guess again, the consistency and the timing and the routines at home maybe match what they're doing at daycare, especially if this child, like how many days is this little wee one going to the daycare as compared to when she's staying at home. Maybe she's staying at daycare a bit more during the day rather than at home. She's more familiar with the environment at daycare rather than at home. So yeah, maybe ask what the routines are at daycare so that you'd be able to match it with what you're doing at home. You know, again, that consistency with what they're doing there and what you're doing at home would be really quite good, you know, to aim for progression for this little wee ones being really ready to toilet. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And I guess this really shows, I mean, this question is like the opposite of the one we got earlier. It goes to show how different our little Tamariki can be, kind of going on this journey. There's so many different things that affect it, eh? Cool, lovely. Another one coming in. Fabulous. Thank you. Awesome. Oh, double trouble. Tips on training twins. We've got a boy and a girl turning 2 soon.
Congratulations.
Lovely. Awesome. One of each. Fabulous. So what would you suggest for this? Obviously, very, very busy household.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially for both mom and dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess for these twins as well, I mean, even if they're twins, identical, you know, sometimes boys and girls, you know, both different. And it's okay if you're trying to train them both in the same potty as well. And that's fine. If they both want to sit in the potty, that's perfect. But I'm pretty sure that there's also other things going around with this, you know, turning 2 years old as well. If they're really quite ready, you know, one of them is, go for it. You know, if the boy's ready, go for it. If the girl's ready, go for it. Doesn't really matter who starts first, or if they want to do it both, do it together. That's absolutely fine. Again, you know, making sure that they're physically ready, emotionally ready, and you know, and they're absolutely really quite onto it as well. They're recognizing that they're wet, you know, all those signs that they're, you know, they're onto it, they're ready for it. Then absolutely start doing it. Yeah, either both of them or one. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, whoever does it first, it's okay. Yeah, if they want to do it together, great.
Yeah.
If not, if one wants to start, you know, doing it earlier, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can forge that path. That's
absolutely
all good. And yeah, if they start doing it with any child, if they start doing it sort of one a little bit quicker than the other, that's no big deal, eh?
Yeah,
it's just
exactly. And you can expect, even if they're twins, you can expect them to do the same things at the same time.
they're still their own little person. That's lovely. Awesome. Perfect. I've got another one coming in here. Perfect. Cool. Lovely. Okie dokie. So again, we've just had a few more questions about, you know, little ones with a speech delay and sort of toilet learning with them. What would you say with that?
Again, with little ones who might have a bit of a speech delay, it is a bit sort of harder for, you know, for us as parents as well, and for the little ones, because, you know, it's how their brain works really, and being very consistent with what you're doing. I guess especially for some little ones who may have a bit of a speech delay, perhaps the best way to go by it is modeling, or you know, giving them books, reading them books, or you know, letting them watch the Wiggles potty training video as well. More of like a visual learning, especially if they're having a bit of speech delay, because sometimes if they're a bit of speech delay, then it's harder for them to let, you know, us know that they're ready to go to the toilet. Or it could mean that we as parents just needs to be a bit more sort of watchful with their cues, you know, physical cues, like is he trotting around, is he doing, you know, like the potty dance, does he need to go, is he crouching on his, you know, holding on his crutch all the time. So those are the kind of visual, you know, things or signs that we need to kind of be aware of, that they're really wanting to go. If they're not really saying, you know, wanting to go pee or wanting to go poo just yet, if they have a bit of a delay in their speech, then we, you know, we need to be watchful with their cues. Yeah, for that matter.
Lovely. Awesome. And is there a video or an app called Mr. Pooh Goes to Pooh Land?
Yes.
Would that be good for our little ones?
That's the one, yeah. Pooh Goes to Pooh Land is really quite good as well. It is quite funny and interactive. So yeah, just by watching at it, the little ones to kind of learn, like, oh, okay, this is where, you know, the poo goes to. So that's really quite a good sort of app as well that they can download.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a really good chance for adults to be a little bit silly as well with their kids,
absolutely.
And make it nice and fun.
Make it nice and fun, and it is as stressful as it is already. You know, why not make it a fun time? Because you know, again, if they feel like, you know, as parents we feel quite stressed about doing it, or we feel quite pressured doing it, then they would feel that stress and they would start regressing, or they would, you know, not even want to go to the toilet as well. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I think we've gotten through all our questions today. So thank you so much for everyone to sending all these wonderful questions in.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Roscelyne,
No
for
worries,
coming
my
in,
pleasure.
answering them all. You've been fabulous. So I hope we've gotten through everyone's today. Like I say, if there's any that we've missed, we will get back to you. If you have any more questions going forward, as we said, please do call PlunketLine on 0800 933 922. If you are having a mare in the middle of the night, if something just isn't going right, then we're always here to help. We're always
7.
yeah. So please do pick up the phone. We'll be back very soon with another Facebook chat, so please do keep your eyes peeled for that. But everyone, have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Kakite, everybody.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.